every song of my name. I'm a natural girl, yeah. Okay, let's try it. I'm going to sing my
At one point, MzVee was one of the most powerful female voices in Ghana. Her songs dominated the charts. She was winning awards at the Ghana Music Awards, earning BET nominations, representing Ghana at the World Bank. She was doing things no Ghanaian female artist had done before.
Boys wanna run me, boys wanna format. Them a see me like a pretty little doormat. They just wanna strike one time like a hole in one. But I'ma stay pure.
And then, the voice that had taken over Ghanaian music went almost silent. No farewell, no announcement, no explanation that satisfied anyone at the time. Just absence. What really happened to MzVee? Today on Fame Africa, we're diving deep into the story of MzVee, her incredible rise, her fall, and the journey that brought her back. I'm Nasam Jr. Let's get into it. To understand why she disappeared, we have to go back to the beginning, because what happened to MzVee didn't start in 2017, the year she went silent. It started years earlier, in small moments of pressure building behind the biggest success of her career, and the reason she gave for disappearing when she finally gave it shocked Ghana. Stay with us. There is one person who knows the full truth of what MzVee went through during her 2 years of silence. Not a manager, not a label, a fellow artist, someone who was there every day, who MzVee says saved her. We'll get to that name. And when we do, it changes the way you hear every song MzVee has released since. How does a girl in a girl group that nobody remembers become one of Ghana's biggest solo stars? In 2012, Lynx Entertainment, one of Ghana's most respected record labels, launches a girl group called D3, consisting of 3 young women, MzVee, SB, and Angela. D3 releases Good Girls Gone Bad and Johnny Johnny. The songs get airplay. The group builds a small but real fan base. But by the end of 2013, D3 is gone, disbanded, because the young members need to focus on their education. Here's what makes this story different from most breakup to solo narratives. MzVee didn't have a safety net. The band dissolved. The other members left, and she had to decide: go back to school or bet everything on her voice alone. She bets on the voice. January 2014, Borkor, meaning slowly, slowly, drops as her debut solo single. Then Natural Girl, Ghana pays attention. In her very first year as a solo artist, MzVee wins the Unsung Artist Award at the 2014 Ghana Music Awards. She then wins New Artist of the Year at the 2015 Ghana Music Awards. First year, she goes from girl group member to award winner faster than almost anyone in Ghanaian music history. And the debut album, Revelation, released in November 2014, features collaborations with Stonebwoy, Shatta Wale, VIP, and Manifest, artists who don't appear on just anyone's first album. They appear because they've already heard what Ghana is about to discover. But here's the real question. Could she sustain it? Could what felt like a moment become a career? In 2015, MzVee was appointed the World Bank ambassador for their End Extreme Poverty campaign. She recorded the official campaign song titled End Poverty. This is a role previously held by D'banj and Fally Ipupa. Ghana's newest female star was being given the same platform as Africa's biggest names. The second album, Verified, lands in November 2015, and it does something the debut didn't quite manage. It announces MzVee as not just Ghana's best new female artist, but as one of Ghana's best artists. Verified earns MzVee 7 nominations at the 2016 Ghana Music Awards, including Album of the Year and Record of the Year for Abofra featuring Efya. 7 nominations in a single year is not a breakthrough moment. It is a statement of dominance. Abofra, the song about a child's relationship with the world, produced alongside Efya, becomes one of the most celebrated Ghanaian songs of the decade. It's the kind of record that wins awards and outlives them. On May 20th, 2016, MzVee was nominated for the BET Awards Best International Act Africa category, becoming the first Ghanaian female musician to be nominated for a major BET award. She was also nominated for the MTV Africa Music Awards Best Female category in the same year. Ghana had never seen a female artist reach this far internationally.
News broke and everybody's talking about her. She's already trending on Twitter. It's all the BETs. Congratulations, Efya. Thanks for trending.
Thank you very much.
Now, how did the news come to you? Like, were you expecting this?
I've said this everywhere. I wasn't expecting it. It came as a surprise, but you see, when you work hard, you know good things will have to come.
MTV Base named her one of the top African artists to watch in 2016. She performed at major festivals across Africa. She was winning the Ghana Music Honors Best Female Artist Award in 2017. From the outside, everything looked perfect. But behind the success, pressure was building. MzVee was slowly dying inside, but the industry never knew what she was going through. And in 2017, the year that should have been her biggest, something changed. Why did she step away? In May 2017, MzVee releases her third album, Davi. It is well received. The single Davi is a certified hit. Ghana still loves her, and then she stops. Ghana fills the silence with speculation, the way Ghana always does. The most persistent rumor, she is pregnant. It circulates on social media. People who don't know her personally are making confident statements about what is happening to her body.
Who said there was this rumor say, hey, what is that? What is that?
I even heard say
I didn't have for from
I wasn't pregnant. Me, I didn't know I was pregnant. They said I was at the Kumasi airport about to board a flight. I was 9 months pregnant and I was sitting at home with my mother. I didn't even understand that one. So.
She is not pregnant. What is actually happening is something Ghana talks about much less than pregnancy rumors. Mental health. On January 5th, 2020, in her first public interview after her return, MzVee sits down with TV3 and says it plainly. I was super depressed in 2017 and 2018. Not tired, not burned out, not taking a break to travel. Super depressed. Her words.
I gave up on music 2 years ago. What? It's very emotional, you know, because I was super depressed.
Let that land. This is a woman who, in 2016, was nominated for the BET Awards, who was named by MTV Base as one of Africa's artists to watch, who was representing Ghana at the World Bank, who was winning award after award at Ghana Music Awards. And behind all of it, depression so heavy, she describes it as super.
Speaking of depression, how did you know you were depressed?
Oh, it got to a point where I just was deeply sad and angry most of the time. And I want to cry.
I'm sorry. Can I get a tissue, please?
What caused it? What does super depressed mean for a woman at the height of her career? MzVee has spoken carefully about this period. She describes a disconnect between how her life looked from the outside and how it felt from the inside. The applause, the awards, the collaborations, none of it was touching the place where the emptiness lived.
Being a musician, people don't know this, but it's really a lonely life at a point. You know, you have all these people you hang with, and you have all these people who say I love you, you know, but at the end of the day, you don't know who truly
loves you.
Yeah, it's just really strange.
Throughout her 2-year depression, MzVee never sought professional help or therapy. She has said so directly. In one of Ghana's most watched industries, with one of Ghana's most visible profiles, there was no professional mental health support in place for her when she needed it most.
So many people, I know people who are going through like terrible depression, but they can't even come out say, and that's what makes the depression even worse. Because you don't want to open your mouth and say I am depressed. Because somehow think
yeah, crazy, and it's a sickness for foreign people.
But she did have one person. This is where the friend we mentioned at the start of this video comes in. Every day through 2017 and 2018, while Ghana was speculating about pregnancy and MzVee was privately fighting a depression she says was super deep, one person showed up, fellow Ghanaian artist Efya, the same woman who had sung on Abofra with her, who had built a friendship across years of the industry, stayed, kept supporting her, kept encouraging her. MzVee has been direct about this. Efya helped her overcome her depression, not a label, not a manager, not an industry institution, a friend.
So it was really tough. But Efya, I've always looked up to her. She's become like a sister to me. So she's one person who really helped me.
So you opened up to her?
Yes, I did. We spoke a lot, almost always.
Wow.
Yes.
And in 2019, after 2 years in the dark, MzVee made a decision that would define the next chapter of her career. Here is the thing about MzVee's comeback that most people miss. It didn't just start with a new single, it started with a structural decision. In 2019, MzVee parted ways with Lynx Entertainment, the label that had signed her as a teenager, built her from D3 to BET nominations, and been her professional home for 7 years. She walked away independently while still in recovery from depression and chose to release music on her own terms.
Exactly. It's a new under new management.
Aye.
I from saying
Team MzVee, TMV.
TMV.
Yes.
On one. Wow, there.
Yes.
And I think we should applaud. You know, it's not easy to put people together. You understand?
That decision to leave the infrastructure that had supported everything she had built is either the bravest or the most terrifying thing a recovering artist can do, possibly both at the same time. 2019, Sheriff drops. Ghana hears MzVee again. The response is immediate. People had missed her and they had no idea how much until the voice came back. And the question was no longer whether MzVee could sing. Ghana already knew the answer to that. The question was whether the industry that once celebrated her still had a place for her. December 11th, 2020, the answer arrives. MzVee released her 4th studio album titled Invincible, 13 tracks featuring artists like Sarkodie, Efya, Medical, Navi Kenzo, and Falz, self-licensed under her own name, not a label. The album that was built from the ruins of depression, released independently in the middle of a global pandemic. Critics praised its continental appeal. Fans streamed it immediately. Invincible lived up to its name. And 2 years after that, MzVee went even further. June 24th, 2022, MzVee releases her 5th album, 1030, a celebration of 10 years in the industry and her 30th birthday combined into one project. Tiwa Savage, Yemi Alade, two of the biggest female artists on the African continent on MzVee's album, not as charity collaborations, not as promotional gestures, as creative equals. The woman who went silent in 2017 had come back bigger than the version of herself that left. MzVee never really left the Ghanaian music scene. She is still active, still releasing music, and still building her career. But something had changed. The attention she once commanded seemed to fade, while the industry and the audience moved on to newer sounds and newer stars. So the question isn't whether MzVee disappeared. The real question is, why did an artist who once stood at the center of Ghana's music scene suddenly feel like a distant memory to so many people? We opened this video asking, what really happened to MzVee? Now you have the full answer. What is your favorite MzVee song? And what do you think it says about who she is? Drop it in the comments. We read every single one. And if you enjoyed MzVee's story, subscribe to Fame Africa. I am Nasam Jr. and here we go beyond the music to uncover the stories behind Africa's biggest artists. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.